Winter in Vale by Miles Ledoux. Book 9. Salt and Vinegar. Excerpt from Chapter 1. Before Violet came along and earned her reputation as the town's mysterious stranger/amateur sleuth, the most well-known young woman in Vale was Bethany Williams. Hair long and brown, eyes bright green, teeth glaringly white, and cheeks lightly freckled, her beauty made her easy to spot from far away. Her approach often caused hearts to flutter, for some. For others, the sight of her was an impetus to run the other way. The shaggy-haired young man who kept by her side as she bounced down Church Street belonged to the former category. Every few steps he stole glances at her. As he turned onto the path leading to the front door of the Presbyterian church, he noticed she was cutting across the snowy lawn, heading toward Main Street. "Hey, where are you going?" he called after her. "I need to stop at 'Tis the Seasoning to pick up some things for the bake sale," she explained with a smile pretty enough to level a city. "Wait." Something in his tone made her stop and turn around. He was frowning. "You're going to the Dawsleys' store?" "Well, it's just Joy Dawsleigh's store. Fran Dawsley works at the school, remember?" "I know, but—" He looked around. There was no one within earshot. Nevertheless, he jogged over to her and lowered his voice. "You know you could get all that stuff at the grocery store and not—" She stared at him. "That's not cool, Micah." "No, come on, I'm not saying that because they're Jewish." "No, you're saying it because their teenage daughter had a baby, so of course we have to shun her whole family." She turned away in disgust. Micah darted in front of her. "No, it's not that either. It's just, Fran and Joy, they're together." Bethany made a face. "Well, duh, of course they're together. They're parents." "But they're not even married." She gave him a strange look. "They're not married because they're not a couple." "That makes it even worse." Bethany sighed. She laid a hand on her friend's chest and drew close to him. "Micah, I know your heart's in the right place, but you can't be so exclusionary. Just because they're different doesn't make the Dawsleys any less God's children. The only thing wrong with them is that they haven't accepted Jesus as their savior. That's why I shop at Joy's store, so she can get to know me. You should do the same. The more we become friendly faces to them, the more they'll want to come be part of our church family." Micah seemed to have difficulty forming a response with Bethany touching him. She kissed him on the cheek. "See you at choir practice," and she pranced off. Bethany glimpsed Joy's diminutive figure behind the cash register as she entered the store. When Bethany passed behind a wooden pillar, Joy seemed to evaporate. She must have needed to do something in the back. Bethany had a few minutes before practice. She could take a little bit more time to shop so as to exchange a few friendly words with Joy once she returned. She selected a bag of flour and a few other ingredients, then meandered down another aisle, waiting for Joy to reappear. There was a young woman just in front of her, reaching for a bag of potato chips. Bethany almost didn't recognize her. "Candy!" Candy looked up, her hand suspended. "Oh, hey, Bethany." For a moment both of them seemed frozen in perplexity. Historically, they were rivals, but in the mere hours before Candy's sudden departure from Vale 3 months ago, they had begun to mend their differences, slightly. Neither was quite sure what they were to each other now. Bethany's eyes flicked over Candy's shoulder. Joy had not yet returned to the register. Deep down, part of her knew that Joy would not reemerge into the store until after Bethany had left. It would be a shame if Bethany didn't make a friendly impression on someone while she was here. "I'm so glad you're back!" Bethany set down her items and gave Candy a half-hearted embrace, which Candy received with equally lukewarm enthusiasm. "Well, I'm not back, I'm just visiting," said Candy. "But thanks." "That's right, you're living with your dad now, right?" "Actually, I'm close to moving into my own place." "Oh, that's awesome! Good job." "Thanks." There was a lull. Candy started to turn back toward the chips. "You were friends with Marcy Temple, right?" This arrested Candy's attention. "Yes?" "I don't know if anyone's told you. After the ice storm, we set up memorials for the serial killer's victims. Marcy's is in the library." Candy's eyes glistened. She swallowed. "She would have liked that," she said quietly. Clearing her throat, she added, "Thanks for telling me." Bethany nodded. "Oh, by the way, can I have your phone number to give to a friend of mine? He's interested in paganism." Candy gave Bethany an intrigued sideways glance. "Did something change while I was away?" "Hey, you taught me to be open-minded." Blushing slightly, Candy recited her phone number, and Bethany wrote it in tiny numbers on her palm. "Your friend's got good timing," said Candy. "It's not too long before Imbolc, the next holiday in the wheel of the year." "When's that?" February 1st. Oh, that's perfect! Candy gave her head a little shake. Perfect for what? My friend wants to do a pagan sabbat for his birthday party, and his birthday's on the 1st. Candy looked as if she'd swallowed sawdust. Bethany didn't seem to notice. Hey, maybe you could lead the ceremony. That'd be so cool. A real priestess. Bethany, sabbats are not entertainment. They're serious spiritual ceremonies. I I know that. Her tone wasn't convincing. I mean, how would you feel if someone asked you to lead a mass at someone's sweet 16? Bethany's jaw dropped in indignation. I'm not Catholic! Candy laughed humorlessly. Duly noted. She left the store, forgetting all about the potato chips. Bethany followed suit a minute later, whereupon Joy cautiously poked her head out of the back room, saw the coast was clear, and returned to the register. Bethany was in a bad mood all through choir practice. She half expected Micah to ask how her trip to see Joy had gone. She wasn't sure what her response would be, only that it wouldn't be very amiable. However, he did not ask. In fact, he didn't speak to her at all, not until after rehearsal was over, when she received a text from him. Bethany was not one to let a grumpy mood stop her from being helpful. She put away her share of chairs, helped organize the music folders, made sure the thermostat was adjusted correctly, and turned out most of the lights. There were only a few coats left by the time Bethany made it to the coat room. She could hear some women talking over by the restrooms. Just as she was putting on her scarf, her phone vibrated. Micah's text read, "Please help, this is so embarrassing." Scowling, Bethany replied, "Question mark, question mark, question mark. Where are you?" "Side door, seriously, help." "What on earth?" she muttered. Tugging on her coat, she marched through the dark, cavernous sanctuary, heading for the old narthex. No one used the side door much anymore, except for Bethany herself when she gave newcomers a tour of the church. She loved explaining how the front door, prior to the church's renovation, used to be on a different side, the Church Street side, rather than the Main Street side. What was formerly the front door lay in the unrenovated wing, where the stones that made up the wall were real and not imitation. It wasn't something everyone found interesting, but it would always be Bethany's favorite part of the building. The phone buzzed again. "Please hurry." All right. Bethany jogged toward the door leading to the old narthex, illuminated by an exit sign overhead. The outer door could be opened from the inside, but the chamber was so rarely used that the light was rarely switched on. However, as Bethany approached, she saw a bar of light beneath the door jamb. Just as she opened the door, the light switched off, and Bethany stared into the darkness. "Micah?" Something seized her and yanked her roughly inside. The door shut, muffling her cries.